Our idea with this project was to make the York scene and have York come back as a ghost, kind of like how King Hamlet was. And we wanted to have the ghost of York be like a mentor and give some like motivational advice as Hamlet goes off on his like the peak of his adventure, becoming as he gets face to face with death and just kind of making a better like relationship with death by seeing the ghost of York.
It was going to be similar to the reservation dogs that we saw at the very beginning of the school year, where there was the Native American ghosts who came back to their great-grandchildren and just talked sense into them in a very irreverent way.
The hey shit ass.
Yeah, exactly. That's where that's from.
Yeah, and we kind of decided to do it in like the CBC courtyard area because we thought the setting really matched, and like with the snow and like the scenery that we applied into it, it really just kind of matched with the setting it had in the movie, and you know, we really thought it would portray the scenes kind of well and make more sense, you know, with all the you know, with the tomb and like, you know, the burial site and everything. It just really tied it in.
Yeah, and we decided to keep all the characters relatively similar, save for York, of course, because, you know, one that we thought that would be nice because it would be a fun juxtaposition between the very irreverent and sort of, irreverent and foul-mouthed York versus like the flowery and elegant speech that normal Hamlet characters have. So we thought that would be a nice way to demonstrate that, with the two, Hamlet and all the other characters being the exact same, whereas the other two whereas York was very irreverent. Has this fellow no feeling of his business, that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
I'll speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this, sire?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out, sir, and therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in't, and yet it is.
Thou dost lie in't, to be in't, and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore, thou thus liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twilt away again from me to you.
What man thou dost dig for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none either.
Who's to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir. But rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or the equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, these 3 years I've taken a note of it. The age is grown, so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier. He gaps at his knife. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all days, I, the ear, I came to thou that day. That is our last king, Hamlet, overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent to England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there. If he do not, it's no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faithin with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark, I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
I faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many porky coursers nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in. He will last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why, he more than another?
Why, sir, he hid is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a source decay of your worse and dead body. Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoreson mad fellow 'twas. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. I poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. The same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Even that.
Let me see.
Alas, poor York! I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is! My gore rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know oft how not. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now, to mock your own grinning. Quite chapfallen. Now, get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that.
Hey, shit ass, put me down.
From where art thou? Be you of the same origin as my father? Be it so, that I may need to be from another world for the wretched vengeance that hast haunted my existence.
I don't care about vengeance. I'm fucking dead. You, on the other hand, you're a shit of mess. You start off good by trying to figure out who killed the king, but then you just don't tell anyone and start acting like you're a fucking crazy person for God knows what reason. Then you go off and break up with the girlfriend you had. Again, just for shits and giggles of it, I assume. It was all going to be worth it to when you had the chance to kill him. But then, get this, you just don't fucking kill him.
There hath been many deeds, dear Yorick, and provided my soul art not to expire alongside that of the slain, it doth be required that consideration be as close a companion to me as thou once were.
Ah, shut it. You know that you could have killed him a long time ago and be perfectly fine. It's obvious what's going on.
And what be that?
You're scared of death. You think you're big and strong and you can kill whomever you want. But as soon as you have to see death, you'll fucking crumble. Look at me, old friend. I'm old and dead, but I'm happy enough. That's because I was a pious person or was killed in prayer. It's because God's got something going on up there, and you'd be dumber than the man you just killed to try and run away from him.
Pray thee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked o' this fashion I the earth,
Even so.
and smote so, ha?
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
Twere to consider too curiously, to consider so.
No, faith not a jot, but to follow him hither with modesty enough and likehood to lead it. As thus Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth, of earth we make loam, and why of that loam whereto he was covered? Might they not stop beer barrel, imperious Caesar dead and turned to clay? Might stop a hole to keep the wind away? Oh, that earth, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel the winter flaw. But soft aside, here come the king.